Session 8, the Seminole Patchwork with Paper. So it's not snowing yet, but it will be. Very cool pattern we'll be making today. I'm assuming people will have these glued down. There we go. So there's actually going to be 2 patterns here with what we're doing. Aren't these beautiful?
Wow.
This is actually pretty simple. But before we do that, I'm just going to do a little bit of Seminole talk. And I'm going to hope that all the things that I have planned are loaded nicely, because I seem to always take too long with that. Okay, now I'll share screen. We hope. Share screen. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to actually I'm going to actually go to 3 different 3 different lengths. And I'm not going to spend too much time with this because what I want to be doing, this is sort of just previewing what I'll be talking about in a few weeks, which would be the Seminoles today. I'm going to do another talk about how they sort of a little bit more to their transition, but I want to give you a peek at where they are right now. This is one of their newspapers, and the top news story right here is that there's a center on the Florida State University campus that has recently opened, and they're very proud of their connection to Florida State University. Their football team is called the Seminoles, and there is this trend towards not naming your football teams and your mascots with Indian names. So it's a big deal in New York. It's actually illegal now in New York. It's been hugely fought in different venues. And the Seminoles fought to keep the name Seminoles onto the football team. They are, like I said, very proud of their relationship with Florida State University. One thing you won't read, I looked around in here, one thing you won't read in this issue under sports, you would be generally reading this under sports, is the recent Seminole defeat at the Orange Bowl. It was a huge defeat. They had a 14-win season, and then they got what they called a debacle of a game with Georgia. And but one thing I know about the Seminoles, this is when you beat them down, they come back really hard. So, but that just recently happened. I was hearing about the Seminoles on the news, and it caught my attention. Let's see. I'm gonna get out of that one. Okay, so for the most part, do people have? So, Amy, if you can go on gallery view for a second and tell me, and I can ask people, how many people are going to be working along with me that have actually gotten things down? Oh, it looks like there's quite a few. I can only see 5 people in my little window, and they all raise their hands, so that's really great.
Yeah, there's more than that. So
Yeah. Okay. So this is mine. It's the colors are just a little bit different. And just because I like this, that it was, I wanted this color to be a little darker. What we're going to do with these, this is really the pattern I was really interested in. And then I realized you can do this with the pattern as well, because I saw something and it's on our Pinterest page, and I'll get to that too. But what we're going to do here, just to start out, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is we're going to cut these in eighths. Now, did you see, by the way, the master page, the new master page?
Mhm.
How many did people print these up and use them this time?
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is the 1, 2, 3, and 4 all together on one page. And I think that this is a nice time to start using it because I think you have the idea of the 1, 2, 3, and 4 in your head, and you'd be able to pick out the lines here. So mine are glued down onto this master one, and I'm going to cut out groups of 8. And I'm going to stop after I've cut out 2 full lines of 8 because we'll do our first pattern with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. If at some point you're bored and want to keep cutting, all of these are going to be cut out in groups of 8. And the reason I'm picking 8 is because it's 2, 4, 6, 8 inches, 2, 4, 8 units wide. Each band is 8 units wide. So I wanted to make it 8 units in the other direction as well. So we're making squares. Okay. And I'm going to, so I was talking to, as usual, I was talking to Susan, who as usual is doing things differently. She says she's not cutting this way first. And I have to admit that I don't always cut the horizontal way first. And in this one especially, it's not annoying to go back and cut the horizontal line. So I'm not going to do that at first. Okay, and I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wanted 6, and I got 6 here. Actually, do one more line. Do one more line of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's something super tricky about what I'm going to show you. So at a point where I say, now listen carefully to this, I'll mean it, and you'll want to do it. Okay, so cut out a few squares. One thing I think that's interesting about this is I don't think this looks like a square. If you look at yours, I just don't think it looks like a square. And it's because there's these horizontal lines, it creates the illusion that it's not really a square. I don't know if anybody else has that impression, but several times I've done this. I've thought, wait, is this really a square? And I've had to measure one against the other. And in fact, it is. Let's just cut these into little squares. And isn't this master paper pretty? I love the scraps. Okay. I've got mine done, and you can make a choice now of whether you want to uh, put yours on a solid color paper, or if you want to use your another of the master lines. Excuse me. I think I'm just going to put mine on the master lines just so, because I think it's, will create a clearer lesson. Okay. Now, take these, and what I want you to do is I want you to take them and put them all in the same direction. And I'm going to make 2 piles. Should be one more here. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess not. There's 9. Okay. And the reason I'm putting these in 2 directions is because there's going to be some tricky cutting. So I'm going to put this over here and I'm going to put this over here. So one of these, I'm going to cut diagonally one way, and the other one, I'm going to cut diagonally the other way. And you're really going to have to do this very deliberately because it's really easy to get confused. And you can do this with your knife and a ruler. I'm finding that it's good to do it with a large scissors. If you do it with a small scissors, you might end up with this little gap like this. I did that with a small scissors, and there was sort of a curl in it because I was sort of cutting it. And here I can just do one snip. So again, I'm thinking of going this way with this one. Right? And I'm going to go the other way with the other one. So they're oriented the same. And there we go. So once you've done that, sort of look up and give it a thumbs up. And maybe, Amy, you can tell me if we have a lot of thumbs up. Okay. Anybody need more time with that? Okay. Now this is what I want you to look at. So we have these 2 pieces. And the question is, are they the same? Maybe by a description, they'd be the same. They both have diagonal, they both have a large yellow line. But if you try to put them on top of each other, they never really quite match, right? In fact, what they are is they're a reflection of each other. This brings me to one of my favorite words to share, which is it's a mirror symmetry, but it's called a chiral. I think that's the way it's pronounced. I've never heard it pronounced, I don't think. I think it's called a chiral symmetry. It's a mirror symmetry. And that's important for this design because you can see these are mirror symmetries of each other. So what I can do with these 2 is put them together like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the top and the bottoms to make sure that they're straight. And what I'd like you to do, and now these, if I do a mirror symmetry of these 2, it's a different pattern. So I'm actually going to just put these aside for now. We'll get back to these. And I want you to cut very methodically. Cut. And you'll end up with this many. You'd have to cut another square to get another one, which is probably what I did here because I've got 5. But let's just stick with 4 for now. You can go back and do the next one. So I could think of it either starting from the outside of each one or starting from the inside of each one. It doesn't matter. I think I'm going to start from the inside of each one for these. Cut. And I'm going to recommend trying to stay very organized with them. And I'm going to get rid of all the ones with the long yellow. And I'm interested to see the choices you've made with the pieces you've chosen to, with the bands you made. I'm just using a glue stick for mine. How's this going for everybody?
I got lost.
Which part?
Well, I made one little square with the yellow at the top, and now all of mine seem to be facing the wrong direction.
You mean all of the other pieces?
Yeah, I can't see how to make two little points match again. I can't see how to
Okay.
make the yellows go together.
What's that? So all of them are, in other words, they all look like this. You can't do it
Right,
without doing that.
right. That's what happened.
Yeah. So, and man, that is just so, that just happens with such, so easy for that to happen. Let me just cut another one and see if I can. So, what I'm going to suggest that you do, so are all of your squares cut?
No,
That we just
I
made?
have some uncut.
Okay, good, good. So all I want you to do, so don't cut any new ones yet. Don't cut any new ones from this strip yet until I'm sure that you get the way to do this. So if I have two pieces that look like this,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you want to make sure here's a piece and here's a piece. I like to keep them lined up just like this. They look exactly the same, right?
Yes.
And make sure you start here and here and make a cut this way and this way.
Oh, I thought we were just making the cuts in one direction.
No, the ones on the left,
Gotcha.
all be in this direction, and the ones on the right will all be in this direction. Okay?
So
Okay.
Paula,
Yeah?
so would you put together a square? I mean, are you using both directions to make one piece?
Yes.
I'm using this and this to make one
Oh.
piece.
Okay,
And the other part, I'm just taking and putting it over here to the side. So I'll do that.
ah,
So I'll do that with this. I'm gonna go one direction,
right.
right? And over here, the other direction.
That's good.
Okay?
Yeah.
And these two, oh, my meeting is gonna end in 10 minutes. That was fast. What I'm gonna do with these is just put them over here. And these two go together.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay, so since this meeting is going very fast, I'm going to move on. I just don't know how that happened. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about, I'm not going to glue down, but I'm just going to talk about things you can do with these pieces over here. You could make a whole different line of these. You can see that it's it just looks different, right? Which I think is very cool. Something that I think is a really nice thing to do. There's all sorts of things you can do with these. I was trying to sort of fit them in here, which they fit in perfectly, but I wasn't crazy about that look. What I liked better, and you do what you want to do, is I liked putting them in and leaving like a little space and thinking I'd create a band with that little space. Right? So I thought that was nice. But there's lots of things you can do with this extra piece. And that's the point. Just sort of do whatever you want, create another thing and then whatever. But I think it's a beautiful way of making a pattern. This other one, gee, I just think this is gorgeous. I didn't like when I did mine that this orange was so close to this yellow. So I went back with a colored pencil and did a little bit of coloring in, and I like that much better. That's one of the nice things about working with paper, right? That you can do that. And I'm going to quickly show you, I think it's going to have to be quickly, show you how to do the rat, to do this pattern. Everybody else has got this one, right? Yeah, let's do this. And this other one is just beautiful. And it's on the Pinterest page. So if you want to take a look, and the one on the Pinterest page has 5 bands instead of 4. And I think the 5 bands works really nicely. I love the fact, I like the brightest color in the middle, but who knows if that's the best way to do it. So I recommend that you stop what you're doing and cut some more of these into number 8 into squares. But the fact is, you can also go back and see it on the recording. So if you want to just keep working and do this part later, that's fine too. And I do think, by the way, that there's going to be just 2 more sessions. I'm getting busy with some other things. And so I've got 2 more patterns that I absolutely must show you. So we'll have 2 more sessions.
When you do the 5 strips, you're doing 10 wide?
Well, it depends on how wide your it's whatever it is. It depends on how, like I might do them have these just be 1 unit long, but you've got
Uh-huh.
the idea. You're
Yeah.
still making a square.
Yeah.
And some of these, I've done where this is 2, this is 1, this is 3, this is
Mhm.
2. It's nice to mix it up that way. So, but as long as you're making squares. So I'm just going to lay these down and show you how this goes. It says I have 4 minutes, and there's a couple more things I just want to show you on our of people's work and some things that I think are really interesting. So I'm going to try to do this, and you can, like I said, go back and see the recording. Now you want to put these down at 45-degree angles. And unless you are working on a piece of paper like this one that has the 45-degree angles, I would say don't do it this way, which is I'm laying them down. And they look exactly the same as I'm laying them down. And then what I would do is I can go back and put in the other ones like this way, right?
Mhm.
So you see, that's the pattern. It's these are all the same, and the ones that are going across at the bottom, they're all the same, and it creates that zigzag. If you're working on like right here, like this black paper, if you put them down and think that you've got them all lined up right, chances are you don't. So I would sort of, there we go, like that. I would kind of maybe have these, a bunch sort of like in the wings waiting in the right position. But I would glue these down. I would glue this down before I put the next one on. And isn't that a nice illusion?
Mhm,
Mhm.
mhm. Yeah.
So that's how that goes. That's how this other one goes. Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I want to show you something else. There's too many things I wanted to show you today. This went really, really fast. Let's see. I'm going to put up this and share screen. Definitely not good at the sharing screen stuff. Okay. So I thought this was really interesting. I thought this was really interesting. This pattern that we did last week, the one on the top is Claire's and the one at the bottom is Amy's. And basically same directions, same pattern and everything, similar colors. And it just looks so, everybody has does their own thing. Everybody's hand, even though you're getting all the same directions, everybody's own hand shows through it, which I think is interesting. And this one of Susan's, she used the number, the week 6 and the week 7 pattern together. And I just think the way she handled the week 7 pattern, which again is right over here to the left, It's so different. It looks so different in her hands.
Oh, and we're not seeing Susan's.
Oh, you're not seeing Susan's? Are you seeing it now?
No.
Oh,
Maybe
that's,
close the first one and
let's see, maybe that'll do it. Cancel. How about if I put it up here like this? Too bad. Oh, like I said, I'm not good at this screen share stuff. Okay, well, it's in the Pinterest page, and I've got less than a minute left. I might come back on. I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm going to come on if anybody else wants to come back on.